We are here with Kevin Tumlinson today, who is going to be one of our speakers at NINC 2024. Yay!
I'm very excited about
Yes, we know you are.
that.
So, Kevin, for people who might not know you, there might be one or two,
Yeah.
maybe. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about like your business experience in publishing and how it can help our conference attendees?
Okay. Yeah. So first and foremost and always, I am a writer, and have been most of my life, way back. And my publishing experience, I spent a lot of years working as a copywriter, and doing marketing work, but that led me into working with a company called Draft to Digital, which I did for 7 years, the past 7 years, I guess, close to it. And I stepped down from that company. I walked away, um, I don't know, 6 months or so ago, and I've been doing other things. But my whole publishing experience, that's a big chunk of it. But I've done podcasting, I've done all kinds of counseling and work with authors. I do a lot. I've done a lot with authors over the past 10 years. Let's say that.
That sounds a little no, you have
And you see,
you've been
you can still find some of those authors. Some of those authors are still out
some of their
there.
bodies are still available there. So you are going to grace the NINC audience, the NINC attendee audience, with two workshops. The first is the Artisan Age, valuing quality over quantity, and Brand You, building a winning personal brand. You know what? I just got that, like
You
the
just got it.
triple entendre. I've been writing it and reading it, whatever.
These are
So,
news to me. This is the
yeah,
first time I've heard of either of these things.
sure they are. So
Awesome.
let's talk about what can attendees expect from the Artisan Age, valuing quality over quantity.
This is this is a special one for me because it I don't know. I've been thinking about it for quite a while, really. Even well before the past year or so. But I'm seeing a trend. There's several things kind of coming together, like a confluence of things. But one of those is, with the advent of things like AI, there's been a greater discussion about certain aspects of our end of the publishing world. Because I'm primarily self-published. Let me just throw that out there. There's some traditional stuff in my background, but most of my work is with self-published authors, and most of my stuff is self-published. Uh, in the self-publishing world, there's been this sort of leaning towards what we call rapid release for most of my time and tenure in this business. And that has done really well for a lot of authors. A lot of authors have built careers around the idea of like rapidly writing and publishing, as many books as they can, as often as they can. And that's been a strategy that's worked well for people. But what I'm starting to see, and I think what a lot of us are starting to see, is a kind of a shift away from that. And with AI coming on the scene, rapid release, I think, starting to become more of a liability than a benefit. There is still something to be said for being able to get work out there, regularly. But I think that's an argument for consistency, not rapidity. And so that's one of the things I'm hitting on, is like, in this age of AI, we now have this great opportunity. Someone recently posted on Facebook that they were kind of ranting that AI was enabling these writers, or these people who always said, hey, I have a great idea for a novel. If you write it, we can split the profits on it. And that it's enabling those people to just go and produce a book with AI, their idea, and put it out there. And I'm like, thank God. I mean, I was like really excited about that idea, because that means they stop bugging me. I get probably 10 emails a week from people who are like, I got this great idea for a book. You should write it. We could split it. So that's, in a nutshell, that's some of what I'm going to be talking about. Um, Also, this movement toward like this more analog style of life that people are experiencing, something I really sort of enjoy. Like, one of those things is when you walk into Walmart or Target or something like that, they have vinyl sections now. They have they have racks of vinyl albums and record players. And I'm like, what year is it? And this is fascinating to me because I'm seeing with especially younger people, that made me feel old, but younger generations are embracing like physical books, records, so CDs, things like that. They want to own their media. They want to have it and hold it in their hand, and that presents opportunities for us as writers with like special editions, hardcovers, signed copies, box sets. There's all kinds of avenues we can take that. So that's
Oh,
the gist.
very exciting. I know
Yeah,
the whole conference team is super excited about that one. I mean, both of them, but this one in particular because it's clearly such a it's coming from your heart. It's something that you've been
yeah,
thinking for a long time, and I think it's something that the industry needs to be thinking about and probably already is
yeah,
to a certain extent. But we want to hear the special Kevin Tumlinson take on it, so we can't wait. So your other workshop is a little bit more practical, I'm going to say, for lack of a better word. As far as it's very very drilled down into what authors want to hear. I think about you,
yeah.
building a winning personal brand, and I think that's been a buzzword for a little bit, but I know I've enjoyed hearing your personal take on it. So tell us what we're going to hear at
Yeah.
you.
I almost I almost hate using the word brand because it's been sort of adulterated, misused or misappropriated in a lot of ways, and it gets a little oily depending on who's talking about it. And so I do want to I want to soften that a little. So and maybe there's something else. Maybe I can introduce a term or something, and I haven't thought of one yet. So don't try to pin me down on this. But the idea of an author brand, it's the face that we're presenting to those not just the readers we have, but the readers we want, and it's how we're sort of, introducing ourselves and also telling them what experience they're going to have if they come along for the ride with us. And these are all very important. It's also important for us. We need to know, like, what is our voice? How do we represent when we're out in public? What makeup should we be applying? How should we dress? I've had conversations recently with some of the folks, Sue Solari, for example, at they're doing Author Nation, and we did this whole episode about effectively your style as part of your brand, like the clothes you wear, the environment you're in. If you're watching this on video, like I have a well crafted environment, a look for my space. This is my creative space, so that's important for potential readers to see so that they can it's a sort of iconography that teaches them what to expect from you. It's important for me as well as a creator. Like if you look at my environment is tailored for me as a creative. And I can't wait to get to this desk every day. There's days when I don't want to be here, but you know, this my brand is as much for me as it is for my audience. And I think that's a crucial component that gets ignored when people do talk about it. When you see the I call them dude bros, the guys on who are like internet entrepreneurs who are talking about like, hustle culture and you need to be, you've got a 24-hour day and you need to spend 16 of it working on this. I get those guys. I understand where they're coming from. But the thing that they don't necessarily talk about is like how what you're building impacts you, which is very important when your body of work is coming from within you, like that space within you, that creative soul within you. If you are ignoring that in favor of who do I look like, now you're living this like Instagram existence instead of being an artisan. To loop us back to the first topic, these things are related. This is the two topics really for me are both come back to that artist soul, the creator soul. Uh, Not to get too woo woo about it, but I mean, that's what I'm really that's what I'm about these days. So that's my brand these days.
We love the woo woo. We're all over that. So that's very exciting. I'm going to put a little caveat too that if you'd like to read more about what Kevin's thoughts are and his advice on branding, in the May 2024 issue of NINC, my column, my marketing column, is all about Kevin and branding, and
What?
he has a lot of input into it, and I felt I was really impressed by it and very appreciate of his input.
Where do I find this? I
Where
need
do
to
you
get
find
my
this? Well, we might be able to hook you up. We'll we'll get with you after. Okay, so our final question is, you're a seasoned NINC attendee. That's
Yeah.
not doesn't mean you're old, it just means you're well seasoned,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
What's your
Garlic,
favorite,
butter, a little
like,
pinch of
yes,
salt.
what's
Yeah.
your favorite part of the NINC conference?
Oh,
You can keep it short.
so
It's fine.
challenging.
I
Keeping
know.
it short. Is that a dig on my previous two answers?
No, not a bit. No.
This is challenging. The easy answer is to say, well, I love hanging out with the authors. That's the easy answer. Big fan of the karaoke night that Draft to Digital sponsors. I loved being a part of that, and I'm looking forward to my very first karaoke as just an attendee. Um, it really is like I love, the talks, and I love, all that stuff. There's a lot of information that comes there. But really the camaraderie, sort of the BarCon aspect of the conference is much more enriching to me. Because I've met souls at this thing that are just now part of my existence. Like I can't imagine the rest of my life without these people in it. The two of you, of course, are top of that list. But there's so many wonderful people who are members, who attend, who are, they're there for their, a lot of them are there for their own personal reasons, but they contribute. Like they bring something to this conference. And because of we're going to say the high quality of the people who show up here, like the sort of vetted, like these are success stories in this industry. This is what sets NINC apart from a lot of other conferences. Like everyone who attends this conference has succeeded, in a lot of the traditional ways that we hope for as authors. And because of that, they draw talent from elsewhere. You have, all these industry representatives showing up who are there to meet you and learn from you as well as provide for you. It's not just a sales thing. Like they're there, they want to know what direction the industry is going or should go. And I think that NINC is a really good indicator of that. So that's as short as I can make my answer. So
We love that, and we are super excited to have you there this year. Actually, I do have one final question, which is, let's say people want to get to know more about you before the conference. Where can they
yes,
follow you or find out more?
all things Kevin are funneled through my website at kevintumlinson.com or jkevintumlinson.com. I bought that near miss domain because I'm shifting my pen name to that now because it sounds more writerly. J Kevin Tumlinson.
100%. 100%.
But that's the place to find me.
kevintumlinson.com or jkevintumlinson.com.
Either of those will get you there. And from there you can find all the other stuff. And I encourage you to check out like my Substack because that's my newsletter and my blog and all that stuff combined. And that's where I think I'm doing my finest work, honestly. Others may disagree.
No.
I'm a subscriber of that Substack. It's one of
And
the few I actually read on a regular basis.
thank you.
Kevin, we are so appreciative that you joined us today. We can't wait to host you at the conference and have you as a featured speaker this year. Like Tadra said, you have been with us for many, 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 many years and have always been a valuable part of the NINC conference. It just doesn't feel like a NINC conference if you're not there. So,
I agree.
in case you haven't gathered from this interview, Kevin is very friendly, very approachable. Even if you've never met him before, he would be delighted to chat with you. So we hope you will join us. Oh, and Tadra, I realized we might have forgotten one thing, and this is a thing I often forget. My name is Mel Jolly, and Tawdra Candle has been running the interview. And we are the directors of the Novelist Inc. Conference, which takes place from September 18th through 22nd in St. Pete Beach, Florida. For more information, go to ninc.com. That's NINC.com. And Kevin, we cannot wait to see you at the beach.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So is Kara. My wife Kara will also be there. So it's going to be a blast.
Thanks, Kevin. We appreciate it.
Thank you.